Hello, everybody. I have some news today. I received an email from Fred's sister, and this email had the photos of Fred's polygraph in it. I'm going to wait a little bit, to get a few people in here. Oh, good. You hear me perfect? Good. We'll see here. Unfortunately, this polygraph test um, does not have anything about Summer Wells in it. He was not given a test about Summer Wells. This test is only in relation to Cotton Simpson, Roy Simpson. There is some shocking stuff. When I was reading it, I was very surprised to see. I'm going to go ahead. We can look at this. Okay. Let's try to. So I'm going to read it. Detective John Pruitt of Hawkins County Sheriff's Department in Rogersville, Tennessee, requested a polygraph examination of Fred Jr. Hill in connection with the ongoing death investigation. The investigation revealed that on February, do you see that where it says body found off Laurel? Yeah, the autopsy revealed the victim to have high methamphetamine trauma to the head. During an interview on the unrelated issue, which I believe I'm sure that's what that was. Unless it was about his own case. Could have been an interview about his own case. Said Fred Jr. Hill displayed knowledge of details of the death scene that had not been publicly released. Any knowledge or involvement in the death of the victim, Fred Jr. Hill agreed to undergo a polygraph test to prove his truthfulness. But what I know, no opinion means they are either choosing to not disclose to him what his results are, or they're inconclusive, or they think it's, um, am I cutting in and out? It's probably because I was on that other page. Okay. Make sure it's not this set here. Plus that. Can everybody hear me fine? Is the better? Um, Let me go ahead and close some of this other stuff. Is it still buffering bad? I don't know why it would be buffering bad. Good morning, everybody. Well, not only does it show that Cotton had meth in his system, it shows that he was a victim and that it was not an accident. So that was something interesting that now we're seeing Cotton Simpson's death was not an accident. Okay, is it better now? I hope it's better now. It could just be because I have that page pulled up. I'm trying to see. I had a lot of things open, and I need to probably go this morning. But I did want to show you guys this is, the main page here. And um, this is the zoom out a little bit. I didn't want to dox anybody, so I was trying. This is, you can see the envelope. I will say that um, it was a very nice email that I received from her. Um, she said that she's been getting the mail over there for her since her mom has passed. She's the one who's been in charge of everything. And she just opens all the mail. She didn't even look at it. And she just goes through to see what's a bill and what's not. It was totally unintentional. She didn't mean to open it. She didn't realize even Fred's, because he doesn't really get that much mail there. So she just assumed it was her mom's mail. And then she also said the reason she hasn't released it is because she was and she did that to protect Fred. She did it to protect Fred. And but since Fred is telling everybody he wants his stuff released, and him and Ziggy have been saying this, and they're saying it's the sisters. The sister came forward and she said, well, if they want to show what it says, she was trying to protect Fred, she said. Well, they don't know who killed him, but evidently Fred Hill's been quoted. I'm going to go back to that first page again because that page. This doesn't really have that much on it on this page here. Out a little bit. So it just says now that there is the video recording of this examination, and that it's available enforcement there, that it's the Texas Bureau of Investigation has it. But I don't know if if you look at this, let me try to zoom in so you guys could see that the head, oops, that's too much. That way, maybe it's enough now you guys could see it. And it says that Fred Hill displayed knowledge of details of the death scene that had not. So they actually were doing a polygraph on Fred in relation to Cotton Simpson's death. which his cause of death was blunt force trauma. And the examiner said no opinion was issued to whether Fred Jr. Hill was practicing deception when answering the relevant questions. So it was not um, no deception. He did not pass it. They gave no opinion, which means either inconclusive or they are choosing not to tell him that he didn't pass. Is the audio still horrible? Oh, I don't know why I'm having a problem with the audio. Let me see if I can. Let me go into here and see if there's something. Let me see. Audio. I guess it should be. Is the audio still bad? Why am I buffering? I shouldn't be buffering like this. Pull this stuff up. Is it still buffering? The audio is horrible and it's still buffering. That's so weird. I never have a problem like this. The audio is fine now. Okay. Let's see if I can pull this up closer. It's not a big deal. I just want, I don't know why it's buffering. See, some people say the audio is fine. Oh, it's probably just when I leave I'm probably when I'm leaving StreamYard when I go click on that other page is probably why. Okay, if everyone can hear me fine and I'm not buffering, it was just the audio in and out. Okay. All right. Well, as long as it's okay. All right. Well, I'll read it again. I could read it 50 times. I don't really have much else to talk about. I was just going to talk about this so that we could see it. Um, Detective John Pruitt of the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department in Rogersville of Fred Jr. Hill in connection with an ongoing death investigation. The investigation revealed that on February 14th of 2023, the victim's body was found off Laurel Run Trail in Hawkins County, Tennessee. The autopsy revealed the victim to have a high I can barely say methamphetamines concentration, and the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. During an interview on an unrelated issue, Fred Jr. Hill displayed knowledge of details of the death scene that had not been publicly released. Fred Jr. Hill has been interviewed and denies any knowledge or involvement in the death of the victim. Fred Jr. Hill agreed to undergo polygraph testing to prove his truthfulness. Beginning at 12:08 p.m. on June 27, 2023, Fred Jr. Hill was administered a polygraph examination at the Hawkins County Justice Center in Rogersville, Tennessee. During the pre-instrument phase of the polygraph examination, Fred Jr. Hill waived his right to legal counsel and provided written evidence he was undergoing the polygraph examination voluntarily. Fred Jr. Hill made no story to those previously made by him. Based on the polygraph examination, no opinion was issued as to whether Fred Jr. Hill was practicing deception when answering the relevant questions. The relevant questions utilized on the polygraph examination were the following. And yeah, there's a page 2. I'll pull up the page 2 next. I want to give people a chance to read page 1. Okay. Page 2 is very short. It doesn't say much. Let's go. Okay, that was the envelope. Okay. Let's go to page 2. We could go back. I'm sure my audio sucks right now again. That's why I was trying to. Did my audio go out again? Okay. Well, I can't. Trying to. I'm gonna have to keep it zoomed out because I can't move it. So this is page 2, and it just has the second half of the questions. Did you have any? Did you see anyone harm Cotton? No. The preceding is a brief synopsis. So this result, um, getting permission now, and he's okay with it. And I don't know if he knows what it says. I don't. Maybe he just she told him. She said she told him. She read him it. Read him it. It says no opinion. It does not say no deception. No opinion, not no deception. That's why I was, this page doesn't have much on it. It basically just says um, they sent the recording of the results to another agency to go over, and that in at Lafayette Instruments. So and it's with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. It basically just says that the main part that explains what's going on. So I was looking up no opinion. What no opinion means, um, if they choose not to give you an answer, no opinion could be they choose not to give you the answer to your test. Inconclusive means they were unable to determine. Deceptive means you're showing deception. And no deception means that you're showing no deception. But when you have no opinion there, that means that they're choosing um, to not tell you, probably. They don't want to release it. So it is not no deception. He did not pass this. He didn't pass it. Did. And this is in relation to Cotton Simpson's the victim. Yeah, I've showed page 2. I've showed all of it. Yeah, the crime scene, the Cotton crime scene. No, it says okay, so this just puts a little bit on here. Few questions, if you look at it says that this is just a little bit of it, that this is a synopsis of it, and that the main file is with the main files with TBI, and then also another examining office in called Lafayette or something. So beginning, it was because I was trying to pull files up, When I go to pull files up, it does that. Well, it's just 3 questions on this, on his report is what they sent him. That, like it says on the second page, this is just a synopsis of it. This is only a small bit. There was more questions probably and, more stuff asked. This is just, what they gave him as a report. Trying to let me see if I can fix this mic a little better. That's a little better, I think. Yeah, there we go. Well, sounded better for a second. Probably gonna need to get a new mic and headset. I have this other mic, but everybody complains when I use it also. Well, they did 3 basic questions, but, that's what they're showing on this report. But like I said here, if you guys read this page, this says this is a brief synopsis. That means they're only, putting out this is just a little partial piece of it. But they did give him the results, and their results are saying no opinion. Yeah, I'll read the first part again. Yeah, this is what they asked him. They asked him about Cotton Simpson's death. So when he did a polygraph, about, Cotton Simpson's death. I don't know why he wanted this released. I don't know what his sisters told him, but, I'm not saying he didn't pass. I'm just saying I'm saying that it doesn't say he passed. I'm not saying he didn't pass. I'm saying that it says no opinion. It says no opinion. All right, I'll pull that page up again, the full page, so you could see it. Yeah, crime scene. It says crime scene, Danny. That's what I think is weird that it says crime scene. I don't know if it's just strange that evidently Fred had knowledge of this. The other thing, um, when I spoke with his sister emailed me and sent me this stuff. Um, what she said also was that she doesn't understand also why Laura am I going in and out again? Okay. Yeah, Ada, they sent it to another agency to read it better, and also, it's in file with TBI, and they gave him no opinion. So it just says no opinion, right? This it's under investigation still. The case is under investigation. They just put out that I don't know why people are saying it was an accident. Cotton Simpson's death was an accident when obviously when you read this, there absolutely yeah, it was her email. Her email sent it to me. This is it has the envelope and everything. I think they're calling him a victim. Um, I pulled out a little bit so you could see that it's a letter to Fred, everything on it. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more so we could read, so you guys can read what it says. No, mm, I want to try to zoom in a little better on it. Okay. Here, so can you read it? Can you see it and read it? Probably people on phones, it's probably small. Yeah, they're questioning Fred about Cotton's death. They're saying it's because he had knowledge of details of the death scene that had not been publicly released. Okay. Well, they're not calling it a crime scene, they're calling it a death scene. I don't I I don't know. I'd be curious to see if they've even ruled yet on if they have an actual ruling on his manner of death. Yeah, you guys could zoom in on your phones. If you could always flip it and zoom in. I can also put this on the community wall so you guys could look at it. But I'll reread it here where we're talking, it says the investigation revealed on February 14th of 2023, the victim's body was found. The autopsy revealed the victim to have high methamphetamines concentration, and the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. During an interview on an unrelated issue, Fred Jr. Hill displayed knowledge of details of the death scene that had not been publicly released. See, we haven't heard anything about this. I think the reason they didn't release anything at all and just let it be an accident is because of what happened with Summer's case and how everybody has jumped on it. And like now, even how Fred is putting Cotton in on accusing him in it. So it's kind of making me wonder now about maybe there's a connection, and the reason why they're hiding it, there's some type of connection there. It's very weird, Dynamite. Isn't it weird? Right, blunt force trauma to the head. know if you guys are in here in my chat, you guys, I don't know if you follow my channel. You know that I've done a lot of looking at Fred's place and how the scent was there and the um, footprints and everything. I believe she wandered up there. Um, this is just one more thing now. Like I almost walked away from my theory when Fred came out saying and Ziggy were saying, "Oh, he passed his polygraph and all this." Like with Fred being, I don't know, it's just so strange to me, all of it. Thank you, TT, for binge watching my videos. They could some people don't like it because I don't do a lot of lives. It's just sometimes I like looking at, like, documents and maps and stuff, and sometimes it's a very hard and, I don't know, you guys can notice it with other channels. When you try to pull up maps and stuff, it really does cause buffering in your live stream. What does for me. So a lot of times, it's just easier to make a video for everybody than to just you guys sit there and watch me buffering the whole time trying to look at maps. See, I never heard anything about who. See, Moonshine Girl, where did you hear about the cooler thing? Because I haven't heard that Fred saw a cooler on Cotton's phone. Who put that out? Because me and Ziggy actually, I we were talking about that also, and neither remember Fred ever saying anything like that. I'm reading chat. I'm not so yeah, I think too, just my opinion, they are saying um no opinion because law enforcement doesn't want anything out like it is now, right? One love. I mean, I'm sure they don't, but if it's just an accident and all that, why would they not? You know, if he's showing no deception, why wouldn't they tell him no deception? Instead, it says no opinion. That means that's not no deception. Well, it even calls him a victim. Blunt force trauma, um, and to the victim, high concentrations of methamphetamine, and that it was blunt force trauma to the head. Opinion on his polygraph. Pretty much no opinion on polygraph means they don't want to release to him his results. I don't know if there would be a life insurance. He did work for the city for a really long time, so he probably had benefits. Right. His former in-laws say accident, Lisa, as, um, some type of foul play if they pulled Fred in and did a polygraph, about it. Right. Fred said he passed, right? He said he passed. Fred said he passed, but Fred said he talked to his sisters and he passed. I don't know, when I Karen emailed me his sister. We exchanged a few emails, and she said she read it to him, and it said no opinion. Maybe he doesn't know what no opinion means. Maybe he thought that means no deception, but this is, um, as far as I know, Fred knows his results from his sister, reading him the results. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, trauma to the head, blunt force trauma to the head. So, blunt force trauma, the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. Fred Hill displayed knowledge of details of the death scene that had not been publicly released. See, nothing was released about Cotton Simpson's death. Nothing at all. I couldn't find anything about it other than an obituary. So that's interesting that there was no police reports. I think there's a lot of things, that were, Fred's sister had told me some stuff that Cotton Simpson was actually found on a trail and that Fred and Laura were the last people to see him alive. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know the details because nothing has been released at all about his death. It's very much been a secret, boss lady. It seems very much a secret. Well, I don't know what to believe anymore. It just seems like every time we start looking at something, it we go one direction and we believe one thing, something comes out to change our opinion. Um, I don't know who found him. It does anything on it. All I know is that law enforcement has kept it very quiet, and I don't know if it has to do with the fact that they know Fred and Laura were the last people to see him and that they know details about it. So 3 Fine Doves, no opinion, formerly referred to as inconclusive, means that the investigator could not determine whether or not the person was telling the truth. Right, I looked at that too, but I also was reading that they will put no opinion on there, um, if they don't want to give the, um, person being polygraphed really all of the results because it's still under investigation. Of course, he had meth. Everybody, I mean, a lot of people knew that he was a meth user. He had a stroke like a few years prior. Um, I think I my opinion is I think it does have something to do with it. The people that were out there that day, the things going on. I, you know, it seems strange that this guy just dies and then Fred implicates him in Summer's disappearance. And then we see that the polygraph done on Fred actually is to implicate him in um, the death of Cotton Simpson. No, they didn't. They wouldn't have shot him. It says, maybe Fred and Laura killed Cotton or they shot him. No, no, it shows right on here. Hello, everybody coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. Right, spiritual being. I that's the kind of I think where I'm going towards filling in this is that um that group has some knowledge of what happened. And Fred is they're starting some of them they're starting to see him talking too much. They were seeing Cotton talking too much. And that's kind of what it seems like to me. That's kind of where I'm kind of going with it on my theory now. I know. Am I still cutting in and out? Am I cutting in and out bad? I think I messed up my mic on my, headset. I'm gonna have to try and get it together. Maybe get a different one because it's starting to go in and out. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bad drug in that whole group. It seems like continually we're having things going on, you know? Um, and it wasn't something new. The Summer Wells disappearance wasn't the beginning of their corruption, that's for sure. This is something it had been going on for years. You look at it, even Chad Arnold, who was seen at Fred Hill's on June 15th, that day, Candace saw him. Um, his brother was also found, like, just in some woods back behind a field by their house, the Arnold's house. Remains were found, a few months later, so or a while later, that it made it very hard for them to tell what happened to him. Well, I don't know, it's kinda weird, Kim Holmes, about wandering on something she wasn't supposed to see. I thought that too, but they were loading cars that day. That's what's weird. I don't feel like if they were loading cars, they would have been doing something else. I don't know. I kind of feel Fred left that day. I think he has more knowledge than, he's putting out on what happened. Well, I'm gonna make this is gonna be a short live. You guys can go over it. I've showed the papers. You guys can rewatch and see what you guys, read it. I read it. I could read it one more time if for people that just came in. It says Detective John Pruitt of the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department in Rogersville, Tennessee, requested a polygraph examination of Fred Jr. Hill in connection with the ongoing death investigation. The investigation revealed that on February 14th, 2023, the victim's body was found. Okay, you see that it doesn't say they found his body off a cliff. It just said it was found off of the trail in Hawkins County, Tennessee. When you listen to that Fred interview with Ziggy, I don't know if I'd call it an interview, the video uh, call. Did anyone else hear where Fred says that's Laurel Run Park? That's where it all started. That's where it started off at. Laurel Run Park. That's where it started off at. He There's something there that he knows. So when I was looking, trying to figure out what no opinion means, it means that they don't want to release yet what it says. They don't feel comfortable with giving an opinion yet. Either they don't want him to know what it says, or it's inconclusive and they can't determine whether he's telling the truth or not. You're welcome, everybody. But there's not really much I can say more on it. It is what it is. I've read it a few times. It says during let's go here. The autopsy revealed the victim to have high methamphetamines concentration, and the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. During an interview on an unreleased details of the death scene that had not been publicly released. Right, well, nobody knew anything about this until he brought it out. Fred Jr. Hill has been interviewed and denies any knowledge or involvement in the death of the victim. See, that's the thing too. It says victim a lot, but I don't, death of the victim. It seems like I mean, they're investigating this as it could be a possible homicide. Yeah, maybe the cliff part was the part that wasn't released, that he fell off a cliff or whatever. Maybe that's what wasn't released. I don't know. So it says no opinion. So that means it does not say no deception. It says no. I want to state again that Karen, Fred's sister, gave me this. She also gave it to me with an explanation how she obtained it, and that it came to the house. She is in charge of all the mail and all of her and pays all the bills. She just opened it, not even realizing what it was. She contacted Fred right away when and told him and read it to him, and he she's the one, who she gave him all the information. She read it to him. I don't know if he's unaware of what no opinion means, but it doesn't mean no deception. That's why she didn't want to release it. Ziggy's been asking for it, and um, she chose to give it to me to release. Um, she was uncomfortable with the way Ziggy was approaching all of it, and she said she felt that it probably would be better if I released it because I have a unbiased opinion on the situation, and no connection with Fred in that way. So I um, am. That's what I'm doing. So you guys could all see, and that she was uncomfortable with releasing it because it doesn't say no deception. It doesn't say he was cleared or anything like that. It also implicates him in the death of Cotton Simpson, a lot of things. And um, it was released respectfully so everybody can understand it and see it. Um, and that she was only trying to protect Fred. That is the reason she hasn't released it until now, because she felt like this doesn't look very good for him. It doesn't, or Laura. And but because of the things that Fred and Laura have been saying back and forth with Ziggy, she felt that Fred must want it released. He's saying he wants it released, and he's blaming Karen for not releasing it. So she's choosing to allow people to understand now why she chose not to at first, because it does implicate him. The second page, if you go back, you can see it, but I'll go ahead and I'll show. You can see it came. Okay, this is the second page. Okay, you guys can read it. So the second page doesn't say much. It just says, "Did you see anyone harm Cotton?" No. But it does say the proceeding is a brief synopsis of an audio-video recorded interview conducted with Fred Junior Hill on 27 June 2023. The synopsis is not verbatim. For a verbatim examination of the interview conducted with Fred Junior Hill, review the audio-video recorded interview retained by the examiner. The entire recording in its entirety should be reviewed prior to examination was terminated at 3:22 p.m. on June 27, 2023. The polygraph examination was conducted using Lafayette Instruments Tex 5000. The examination has undergone Tennessee Bureau of Investigation quality control review. So that is the second page. Yeah, it doesn't like uh, um Jackie 11 like or Jackie 11. I don't know how you say your name, but there's no mention of summer other than during a unrelated interview. Okay, Sweet D, what could you say to during? Yeah, this was about cotton, not summer on this polygraph. And as far as we know, he's only taken one polygraph. There's no mention of summer, but that's not true exactly because if you read, this is just a synopsis. This is nothing. This is only a small, tiny like preview of um the test that was the polygraph examination. It says it here. This is a brief synopsis. Okay, there's a lot more stuff to it. This is a brief synopsis. That means this is just a little bit of it. But it does say, I'll go back to that first page because the first page actually has the most information a little. So if you look at the first page though, um, let me see where it is again. Let me reread it. So during the interview on unrelated issues, he displayed knowledge. Okay, let's see. Okay, during the pre-instrument phase of the polygraph examination, Fred Jr. Hill waived his right to legal counsel and provided written evidence he was undergoing the polygraph examination voluntarily. Fred Jr. Hill made no statements contrary to those previously made by him. So when I hear that part, um, the statements involve summer with cotton and all of that. Those were the statements he was saying. So, I'm still, I don't know what to say because with it saying no opinion, we can't say yes or no on this now. The only shocking thing that, um, well, Laura was there as the witness. She says Cotton was not there helping them load cars. Whether he showed up there or not, she doesn't know, but that Chad Arnold did right after they left. Right, previously made by him. So some of the statements previously made by him, um, Susu, um, Susie Sue. That's what it is. Susie Sue. Previously made by him were that Cotton was involved with Summer. So, like, I don't know if those were questions because it says on the second page, this is very brief synopsis of what was asked and what was done. I don't know. You said, but now that you have live, I Adam, I don't know what statement you're referring to in Ziggy's live. The statement about what, Sweet D? See, it is not stated who found cotton. They're not releasing they're releasing zero information on on this cotton situation. And it was rumored to be an accident, but it's kind of looking like they don't think it's an accident. They're they are looking into it as more than an accident, it seems. This document says Fred had knowledge of Cotton's death scene. That was not released to public. That is a red flag, Jeb Foster. Yeah, I agree. I think it's very strange that they're more interested in connecting Fred to the death of Cotton than the disappearance of Summer. So, right, people was attacking the sister in her chat, and she's been saying what Fred did to the family, and so many people didn't want to hear it. I don't blame her for not wanting to release this stuff to her. Yeah, you know, she said to me the reason she didn't want to release this stuff was, it didn't look good, and it doesn't look good for Cotton either, like the circumstances. I'm going to go ahead and stop screen sharing this, and I'm going to go and read, if I could get back to this here, the actual email from Karen so you can um so I'll read you guys. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Because when I change screens, sometimes you guys can't hear me. Did I go out at all just then when I changed screens? Okay, I'm going to read the email. Well, I'll paraphrase the email because there are some things in here. It says, "Good morning. I'm sure you're aware of who I am. If not, I am Fred's sister, Karen. I would like to extend an invitation to you for this info instead of Ziggy. Reason being, I appreciate the way you do your research and your unbiased perspective." She wanted to, and then, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit here. She wanted to give a backstory on the reason she wasn't releasing this to Ziggy. She said, "I was only trying to protect him and how this report would make him look because he hasn't seen the report. But if he wants to air his and Laura's dirty laundry, I would rather you disclose this info." So she wanted to speak on the backstory also of the day Laura and Fred heard the news that Cotton Simpson was found. When when they got the news that Mr. Simpson was found unalive, they were very distraught, especially Laura, and was convinced that he had been robbed, and it came out of their mouths that they were the last ones to see and speak to Mr. Simpson. Laura had made claims that she did not know Mr. Simpson and thought that he was a creep while talking to Ziggy. However, Laura seen the news on social media about Mr. Simpson's passing, an anxiety attack. She ran outside to find Fred and tell him the news. Fred came inside and said, "Well, I figured he would get robbed before he got home." Their reaction and comments to the news of Mr. Simpson's passing didn't seem usual at the time because we were unaware of the nature of the relationship with Mr. Simpson. But after seeing this polygraph, you will understand why I was trying to keep this private. I was trying to look out for his best interest and safety in jail. So I just wanted that was did can everybody hear me? Okay. Because when I change pages sometimes that was a part of the email that I got. I didn't want to read all of it because some of it is personal to me, know, things said like it's a little bit sad that what's being put out there about Fred's sister because it does seem that she does care and she was just trying to protect him, So, yeah. Well, I feel the thing that's weird is that the dogs hit on the 207 Prow if you scent trail. The scent trail that people came out and spoke on. That's the other thing. Um, and there could be other scents that were found. They just weren't spoke on because there wasn't a neighbor or somebody witnessing it. What we know are the scent spots where people actually witnessed it, that the dogs hit in areas, and it's from the Wells driveway down a path all the way up Limestone Branch, little creek there, up to Fred's driveway, up into Fred's driveway a little ways. That's kind of like the direction that the scent path goes. Um, so it's a little strange. That's strange to me, but I am not in could you know leave them in the comment section. I talk in my comments. I talk, I will answer you in there. It's a little bit easier for me actually to read your comments and take my time and answer you guys individually in the comment part after like on the replay. Um, so if you guys want to talk about anything in there, we can discuss it after this live. We don't have to do it in a live. But thank you guys very much. And I hope this was interesting to you guys and it could help you guys get a little more clarity in this. And I hope I did this in a way that Karen is happy with. I want to show respect to her and respect to all the family involved in this whole, I like to call it a situation in general, but thank you guys. And I appreciate you guys being in here. And I will try to get back on and do another live probably this evening about it. And we can discuss it a little further. I wanted you guys first to I wanted to get it out there for you guys to see it. Thank you. And I will see you guys later tonight.